For this episode of BigQuery Spotlight, we're putting the U in BigQuery, meaning it's time to start asking questions of your own data. For today's episode, you'll learn how to load and analyze your own data in BigQuery, and by the end, you'll have the data you need to answer the age-old question, which is better, cats or dogs? For the results of that matchup, you'll have to stick around. If you want to analyze data that's not already available as part of the Public Datasets program or hosted publicly by another BigQuery user, you'll need to load your own data into BigQuery. How you load the data depends on your analytics needs and your data pipeline. If your data slowly changes or needs to be loaded in a one-time analysis, you may be fine with loading the data into BigQuery in batch. But if you need to ingest and analyze data close to real time, in this case, you may need to stream your data into BigQuery. Luckily, BigQuery has options for loading data that cover both of these scenarios, and those in between. Let's show you how to get started by loading data in batch. So what data do you need in BigQuery in order to officially crown the winner of the cats versus dogs battle? We're going to determine the champion by analyzing college basketball tournament games in order to see who wins when dog mascots and cat mascots go head to head. To run this analysis, we'll need two things. First, we'll need to have the tournament results data, which is already available in BigQuery as part of the public NCAA basketball public dataset. We introduced this public dataset in our episode on how to query in BigQuery, which is linked below if you're interested. Second, we'll need a list that has teams with dog and cat mascots, which we have available as a local CSV file. It's also linked below if you're following along. To join these two datasets together for analysis, we'll need to load the mascot CSV file into BigQuery and create a table. No time to waste. Let's get started. Let's first create a home for the mascot table in BigQuery. BigQuery organizes data into containers called datasets. These datasets function like top-level folders that organize and control access to the underlying tables. Let's head over to the web UI. If you want to follow along, pause the video, click on the link in the description below to set up your own BigQuery sandbox, where you can load and analyze data without needing a credit card. All right, on to the UI. To create a new dataset, select the project name on the left-hand nav and click the Create Dataset button. We'll give the dataset a name and then decide on a location. In this case, we need to co-locate our dataset with the NCAA public dataset, which is located in the US multi-region. We'll need to reference both tables in one query by performing a join, and this can only be done with tables residing in the same geographical location. You can always view the dataset location by clicking on the Details tab in the web UI. Click Create Dataset, and the new dataset will appear in the left-hand nav. Now it's time to create a new table within the dataset by loading the mascot CSV file. Highlight the dataset and click Create Table. This dialog allows us to directly upload files from our local machine up to 10 megabytes in size and containing less than 16,000 rows. If you have something larger, don't worry. You can just upload it to cloud storage and then select it from there. Since our CSV is pretty small, we can skip that and use the browse functionality to select the file from our local machine. Give the table a name and then define the schema. The schema is a list of each column and its data type. We can define the schema manually by clicking on Add Field or check the box to have BigQuery auto-detect it. Click Create Table and a load job will be created. Once the data has finished loading, you can navigate to view the table details, review the schema, and preview the data right in the console. Our mascots table is ready to query. We'll paste in a query that uses the mascot table to analyze cat versus dog tournament game matchups. In our query, we've started with our table of tournament games and then used a series of SQL joins with the mascots table to look up the animal classification for the winning and losing teams. We then sum up the number of wins for cats and the number of wins for dogs in the specific cat versus dog matchup games. Time to run our query. And there we have it. With 43 of the wins, dog mascots reign supreme in the realm of college basketball tournament games. The analysis doesn't have to stop there. You can see how dogs and cats perform on other metrics, or join this data with other datasets to test new ideas. For example, do the types of mascots differ between warmer and colder climates? Comment below with your ideas of exploring the mascots table. We hope you'll look out for our next episode of BigQuery Spotlight. And remember, stay curious.